this video, we're going to be talking about regaining your confidence as an amputee. And I'll be talking about a very specific process, which I hope will help you as much as it helped me and as it has made sense for me. So, guys, I've got a few notes here. In fact, I have a lot of notes, so I might be checking on them from every once in a while, just to make sure I cover everything. But it's been a long time since I've seen you all, long overdue, and I have a lot to say. And first up, sorry for the delay in making another video, and truly hope to be able to do this more often and also get back to the live streaming. There have been a lot of comments from people asking for live streams, and I would like to get back to that to answer those questions real time. To all of you who comment, thanks so much. You're a huge source of inspiration for me. It gives this whole process a lot of meaning. I find it enjoyable, and it's been a busy time. So, but no excuses, I should make videos more often. So for those of you that maybe haven't met me, I just want to show that I am an amputee. I'm a left through knee amputee, and most of you have gotten to know me quite well already, and we talk a lot about amputee issues, and today in particular I want to talk about confidence, self-confidence. So I'm checking my monitors here. I'm in my live streaming studio today. Normally I'm in an outdoors venue to do videos. We'll get back to that again at some time. So guys, if you're a recent amputee, this video is for you. If you're electing for an amputation shortly, this video is for you. If you're a struggling amputee, this video is for you. If you're a soul-searching amputee, this video is for you too. So as I mentioned, my name is Chris. I'm a left through knee amputee. Welcome back to the Amp Life. You know, as I said, it's been quite a while. So for those of you who don't know me, I've been an amputee for 19 years. It's been 23 years since my accident. And during this time, my most challenging struggle has been to regain my confidence as an amputee. And it's still something I struggle with every now and then. So if I say confidence, I mean struggles with self-care, self-esteem, identity, struggles with self-acceptance. So that's a lot of self-talk, and I don't mean this at all in a self-absorbed sense. It's really about all of us. And I think what I really mean is I mean it in the sense that hopefully this video will enable us to want the best for ourselves, as well as wanting the best for people we care about, and to have relationships with people who also do want the best for us, because so much depends on the support that we get as we need to learn to ask for help. So I read all your comments. I try to respond to as many of them as I'm able to. Thank you for all those comments. If I haven't answered yours, sorry about that. I do try my best. To all the subscribers, the likes, for taking the time to watch the videos and share your thoughts, I really appreciate that. So today I want to address the most common issue that I do read about in the comments, which can be summarized really as: how do I find or rediscover the need to care for and love myself as an amputee? How do I regain my confidence? And how do I rediscover what I love about life and how I live my life? These are good questions you asked. They're really all important questions, and one we should pay particular attention to if we are to be at peace with our changed selves. So 19 years ago, when I elected to amputate, and it was the right decision. I still know today it was the right decision. In fact, I know that now more than ever. But I was wholly unprepared for what was to follow in terms of figuring out a lot of different things. What has changed to understand that, who I am today, what do I want, I guess what I don't want, questions that I suspect some of you grapple with, and how to regain my identity and confidence. That was probably the biggest one. And I think there are many of you out there who will identify with these questions. And to those who are struggling at the moment, my heart goes out to you. I really get it. I can identify and empathize with your fears and your sense of loss. I've recently read quite a few comments on this issue, and I really do know what it's like, how it feels when the day is over and the world is asleep and all is quiet. You may be lying in your bed with your eyes closed, with your own closely guarded thoughts, your fears, maybe your broken dreams. So today I wish to share a few thoughts about these things with you, how it played out in my life, what I've learned about these struggles, and how I think I've only recently learned to overcome most of them. So for me, now there are still difficult thoughts, but they are overwhelmed by mostly a hugely positive experience as an amputee. And this is what I want, really what I do want for any amputee who's struggling to regain their confidence. So for starters, I think there are three important considerations. How to be grateful for myself, for what I have in my life. The second one is how to be accepting of what I don't have. And the third is how to let go of what I want, but maybe don't need. And I want to share what has happened in the past few months, which has brought me to a few realizations and a sense of peace in my lifelong, or in the run-up to the amputation date. I had thoughts of wanting a goal in the future as an amputee, something like an icon moment, which would suggest that I was at peace with what had happened to me and who I am now, and where my life was going. And there were two aspects to consider, really. It was my physical well-being, firstly, and secondly, my emotional well-being. So the latter I feel, with the emotional well-being, I feel I achieved a few years ago. This came about through my work as a counselor, sharing my experience as an amputee. But there was still something missing to complete the picture. I call it an icon moment, that would indicate that I was at peace with my physical self. So the term icon moment will come up a few times in this video today. I want you to store it somewhere because I'm going to come back to it. I remember when I had the amputation done, that I would attempt to do one of four things to show that I had come full circle. First one, would I swim from Robben Island to mainland Cape Town? It's about a distance of about 10 kilometers in very icy waters. The second one is row down the coast of Madagascar. I don't know why Madagascar. The third was the possibility of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. And the fourth was to ride a motorcycle to the African continent. So these aspirations had nothing to do with seeking attention or monetary reward, but really to feel a sense of identity, to achieve a goal, and to feel a sense of purpose. And as life, as a new amputee happened, I lost sight of these dreams, and a few difficult years followed. And only the love from my family and my love for them have helped me to prevail and see things through to better times. Otherwise, I was completely lost, and often resulting to self-destructive choices, which I have talked about in this channel, which I do not want for you. But slowly, the 8 bad years were followed by a decade of progress, and life improved significantly, about which I've talked a lot on this channel. But something was still missing, and I was still restless, and despite so many good things happening, somehow life still felt a little incomplete. And then, quite unexpectedly and unintentionally, this changed about 5 years ago, when I changed my prosthetics. Ossur entered into my life. As you know, I wear Ossur prosthetics, and within a week, really, I discovered a whole new world of my mobility improved drastically, my health improved, no more infections, no more time in operating theaters, and I felt emotionally rewarded through my career as well. So for the past 5 years, my life has been fairly constant, I'd say, and during this time, I started with this YouTube channel, which brings us to March 2023. But there was still that one last part missing, and as a fully able person, my world was filled with outdoor activities like diving, swimming, kayaking, hiking, running, and paragliding, and the last of which, paragliding, which eventually would lead to an accident and the amputation. And I mean, the accident changed everything. I've only truly realized the extent of this over the past few months. And guys, please keep in mind that whilst I'm referring to my own life experiences as an amputee, the reason I'm telling the story is that I want you to think about how you will regain your confidence as an amputee. I really don't want to make it about me. It's just the best way I can make my point is by using my experience to emphasize the things I would like you to think about after watching this video. And please feel free to ask questions after this and bring it into the live stream discussion. So this video is about us. It's about our struggles and how we discover solutions to them together. So what changed in the last few months? Well, you remember I mentioned earlier that I had a pre-amputation goal to do something that might symbolize that I've regained a measure of my self-belief and self-confidence. Well, recently entered a new activity, which was e-mountain bike riding. As a student almost 40 years ago, a long time ago, I used to cycle a little to stay fit. So the thought of picking up cycling again seemed like a really good idea. However, I thought of it merely as like a fun idea, something to do when I was maybe on holiday or Sunday rides, maybe with a family, or to ride to the office occasionally. Never really thought of it as a serious thing. So I took the plunge in March, then I picked up a trail enduro mountain bike, e-mountain bike. And in the next video, I'll talk more about the choice of bike, kit, and other extras you might need to get into the sport. But I cannot emphasize enough how this activity or sport has recently changed my active life as an amputee, and just how enjoyable it has been. All of these things brings me to the goal, I'd imagine, that icon experience that I mentioned earlier. In April this year, about a month after picking up the bike, I started playing with the idea of doing a bit of a longer ride. So slowly this plan unfolded, and the date was set for the 4th of October of this year, 2023. We're in now. That was around three to 4 weeks ago. And again, I cannot emphasize what a positive experience this has been. And at this point, I just want to quote Lance Armstrong, who, despite his unfortunate downfall, has done a lot of good in this world for cancer patients and survivors. And he said, he wrote a book, it said it's not about the bike. And well, maybe it is just a little bit, but I'll say a bit more about this later. The bike was merely an instrument to something. And so why is this? Well, how can such a small decision have such a positive impact on my well-being, my health, my mindset, help me to regain my self-confidence, myself? And the reason I made this video today is to share my experience in the hope that it will help an amputee somewhere who is struggling with the issue of identity and self-confidence, a lot of which I've been reading in the comments. So again, I want to emphasize we are all different, but I believe there is something in my message, I hope, which if you personalize it to your personality and your needs, could help you to hopefully have a similar experience. We are all different. I get that we have different needs and interests, but maybe you can find your icon experience, and this is what this is about. But in short, it was like I was missing a piece of the puzzle, which when I had found a piece of the puzzle, when I put it in place, it completed the whole picture for me, to feel the person that I am today. And it leaving me to feel that outside day-to-day troubles and struggles, that we can live with those with a kind of a baseline content life, which helps us to deal with these other difficulties, while at the same time provide a stronger sense of self and being present in this world. So it might sound like a huge oversimplification, and there's a lot more that I can say about this, but and I will elaborate on that specific point at some point. But simply how things worked out for me, like a few truths about the cycling experience. Firstly, I never realized how much fun it would be. Secondly, I was way more capable than I originally thought I would be. I underestimated what I would be able to do on a bicycle. Third is it's quick access to exercise from home, something I miss a lot, not being able to run. You know, you have to go to a gym or travel to a pool or something to go for a swim, but a bike, it's right here. I can just hop on it and go into the mountain or riding. It's quite exhilarating with some adrenaline-filled moments, which I've always enjoyed in my life, if you want there to be. And fifth is it puts me in nature and outdoors, get some sun and wind in my hair. The sixth point is that you can cover big distances in a short space of time, something I miss as an amputee, where, as you know, everything happens so slowly once you've lost your leg, which can be really frustrating. So it's quite empowering to be able to get somewhere quickly. 7, it keeps me busy because you have to plan, you ride, you clean, you fix, you learn all about mountain biking. 8, I've met some amazing people on the bike while I was riding. And 9, I've reconnected with some old friends because now I can ride at the same speed that they can with the e-bike when they ride an analog bike or an e-mountain bike for that matter. And then 10, this is the big one, really the big one, and this is in response to a lot of the comments I read. It helped me to gain a lot of confidence, and it reconnected me with the person I felt I once was. That's the big statement. It's quite an emotional thing to say, but slowly that dream, I had to plan an icon moment, the one which would show me that I'd healed and kind of come full circle. This icon event started taking shape, and I set a date for the 4th of October when it all happened. And just briefly to tell you what happened, my wife and I decided to do a route from a town called Sutherland in the South African Great Karoo, where they have all the telescopes, South African Lot telescope for astrology. And I would cycle down to another Karoo town called Maverville. It's about 120 kilometers planned ride on my e-bike with my wife driving a support vehicle with the nutrition tools, spares, and of course water. So it's a remote area with mostly no cellular communication. So if something went wrong, it would be a good idea to have her nearby to support me. 3 things I needed for the ride to last for the ride: my bike, my prosthetics, and of course my limb. But the day went down without a hitch. I started at 6 a.m. and finished at around midday with 2 or 3 minute stops, 3 minute stops in between to eat something. It was an amazing experience. I'm going to make a video just about that. I loved every moment of it, and I'll never forget it. And subsequently, I've named it the Amp Life Cycle event, and I plan to do it annually. So here's an invitation to anyone who's interested. Join me for this ride next year. I'm going to do it again. I'd like to do it with some people. We've done the test run now. No matter who you are, where you live, DM or email me, and I'll take care of the arrangements on the day to make this a well-planned, safe, enjoyable event. So the giant trans e-bike I rode was the perfect ride, no issues. My Ossur Rheo knee with a Proprio foot and an Ossur seal and liner performed flawlessly as it always does. It's never let me down in almost 6 years now. And I've always used this combination of prosthetics, something which Ossur refers to as their total solution, which I also talk about on this channel. And I want to add that the setup is not just reserved for sports only, but I use it mostly for day-to-day living, which only emphasizes the versatility of this knee. Now, I do realize that riding a 120-kilometer trail in 5 hours on an e-bike is not a big deal for a lot, considering that we see disabled super athletes all the time on social media and in the news, and they are truly all amazing place. They truly inspire me. But this was my big deal for me. I'm not a super athlete. Most of us are not. And often as amputees, I think, dare not dream of something like this for fear of it never happening, disappointment of failing, or disappointment of failing something that we really want so badly, being in that painful predicament. But this is exactly my point today. I think we can all have an icon moment to signal that we are back from our loss of limb. If you had suggested this ride even 5 years ago, I would have laughed at the idea. I was just living my little amputee life, kind of getting on with it, sometimes not. And in a way, I'd given up on having that icon moment that I always wanted. But it happened, and it brought the loss of limb to a meaningful place. So, something about this has redefined how I see myself, both from a physical and an emotional perspective. And I feel at peace as an amputee. And I think 3 things really happened. The first is I rediscovered something about myself. The second is it helped me to rediscover my confidence. And the third is I discovered cycling as an opportunity to participate more fully in this world. And in addition, and lastly, I'd like to add something I've taken from many messages on the issue of self-confidence and identity as an amputee. From what I've learned in the past 20 years as an amputee, the process which followed, the conversations with the amputee community, and more recent events, some of which are covered today, I've come to identify 3 questions which I've learned need to be contemplated in this process of self-discovery. A lot of this was driven by the questions on the channel, as I said, that I've read recently. The first is, what must I change about my overall philosophical approach to life, given my realities? The second is, what specifically do I want to say about my life a few years from now? And what are the choices I need to make that will facilitate these outcomes? And the third is, how and with who do I set out to find what I want from life? And the fourth is, what is that icon moment or achievement which would show me that I've regained my confidence? And I'll talk more about all 4 of these because I think there's a lot more to be said about this. I believe that the better we are able to answer these questions, the better our chances of finding quality of life as amputees. I'll put them in the description or I'll put them up on the screen so you can take another look at them. But I think these are important questions. So, okay guys, that brings us to the end of today's chat. So whether you're electing for an amputation in the near future, or you are a recent amputee, or you're dealing with this for a while now, and maybe you're still struggling to find your confidence again, my heartfelt wish for you is that you find your peace and live a full life, despite the difficult experience of losing a limb. Don't lose time like I did. I lost a lot of time. Try and be intentional about what you want, and truly believe good things can come from this loss that we've experienced. Please put your questions down below. Please hit that like. If you're new here, please subscribe, and please look out for that notification for the next live stream soon. Guys, take care. I appreciate you. I love you. Let's live that amp life. Okay, ciao.